Hi, and welcome to Beyond Fear to Freedom podcast. I'm Debbie G, the founder, and this is Sheridan, and we do Jesus and BFF together.
That's right.
So we have been talking about the root, not the root of rebellion, but the branch of rebellion, because we already talked about our roots. So last week we talked about rebellion and what rebellion is.
Just as a whole, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to talk about some of the things that are rebellious.
Some of the behaviors and fruits, the results of rebellion, what that looks like.
Yeah, and so we started talking about it a little bit last week when we brought up some of the fruits and behaviors of that. So we're going to start really diving into them. So there are 7 fruits that we talk about regarding rebellion. And I'm going to read them off real quick. And so you can ask yourself, have you ever struggled with any of these? Drugs and alcohol. We are in a great community that we're just all like,
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Disobedience.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the speed limit? I'm sorry. Critical speech, always talking smack about people,
Yeah,
just always just gossiping
ugly.
and just confused state. I use this example all the time. Oh, I love him. No, I don't. I don't love him. He's the center of my life. No, I don't love him at all. What? I don't know what I want to do. Oh my gosh. That's a confused state. The other one is hatred of authority. You can't tell me what to do.
I'm grown.
I'll fold it to you.
I don't think
tell
so.
me what to do. Sexual sin. And we just say this. All the virgins say, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, because listen.
Yeah, it's my body. I'm going to do whatever I want.
And then independence. I don't need nobody. I got this. I got this. Okay, so does any of this resonate with any of you? All of it for me.
Yeah, I've experienced all those.
I've had to go get through every single one.
all of those.
So, and once we figure out, okay, let me think about any of those topics, right? Because listen, we all got them. So don't try to think, oh, I ain't got none of those issues. We all do. So what was the outcome of that behavior, though? If you were raised in drugs and alcohol, which a lot of us are, right? What was the process of your experience in that from wherever you were? And then what happened when you started to do drugs and alcohol?
Do you want me to answer?
Well, I think we all know.
We all know.
We all know.
Straight
man.
destruction.
That is bad. It's
Straight
evil.
up destruction.
And so have you ever experienced those things in your life? And we already said, yes, every single one of us has. Drugs and alcohol, they make us not be who God has created us to be. We go to an alternative kind of state of being.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing that is because we don't know who we are. So normally we're looking for someone to help us along the way, or we're trying to cover up a hurt or something.
Yeah, it's a coping or a lack of coping skills that we use for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's like, if we have issues with that, it's because we're not dealing with the issue oftentimes.
Amen.
Oftentimes we're just not dealing with the issue.
It's a cover up.
The other one here we talk about is disobedience. I'm not going to listen.
Yeah. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That rule does not apply to me.
That's right. I don't have to do it. I'm a grown woman. I work for my money.
I don't like, this is what I would always say, I just don't like that rule. So I'm just going to pretend it's not there. I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
For real. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I'll be really obedient to the things that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to just do what I want to do. I might tell you I'm going to do something, and I'm just like, nah, it's all right. I just don't feel like it now.
No.
I don't do that. And I don't need people telling me what to do. I'm an adult.
Give some examples. We have some
Disobedience.
examples
Okay,
here.
let me get. Okay. Oh, this one hurts. Oh, every time.
Busted.
I get busted on this one, and I'm the boss, and I get busted on this one. Using your time on the job to check out social media. Send text messages to friends. Make long distance phone calls. Using your employer's equipment to print and copy. Oh. And then secretly spending money when your husband has made it clear that the budget is tight this month. Those are just a couple of examples. When you agree to do something and you're not doing it.
Disobedience.
That's just a couple. That's just a couple of things. I am very disobedient when it comes to the speed limit.
You are.
I am.
I'm so glad you know.
I do know. It's like the right foot is the last part of the body to be
Straight
sanctified.
rebellious.
I'm struggling. That's disobedient, and I know that. And I work really hard to stay within the speed limit.
I cruise control everywhere because
That's a
I
good
used
idea.
to have that problem.
So let's look at these things. Let's look at the disobedience. So I just named a couple of things. How many of you guys have dealt with those kinds of issues? I'm owning mine. She puts herself on cruise control. Where do you struggle with disobedience?
Now, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm too scared to
She's
get in
too
trouble now. No, I'm not too perfect, but
I'm
I'm
too
just
scared to get into trouble.
I have learned that all of my thoughts and all of my wants and ways are so scary and they don't ever work out. So I just try to stay so close to the obedience part.
Okay, let's talk
Call me
about.
out.
Okay, I'm just
Call
going
me
to
out.
clarify. How about when the Lord tells you don't need to say that, I will say it anyway.
That's happening.
Or when He says you need to get up and read your word, and like I'm tired. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a couple little things like that. Or He said you need to go apologize to that person. And you're like, I ain't gonna apologize to that person.
Yes, it takes me a couple days.
Okay.
sometimes.
Or you need to calm down. This is not about you. Oh, it is about me.
Excuse me. My name is involved. It's about me.
Right? Oh my gosh. So there's tons of disobedience. Those were just a few things. And oh my gosh, there's tons of disobedience in there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the other thing now is critical speech. And people don't think about critical speech. They're like, what? I don't even think about. What do you mean critical speech? Okay, first of all, let's look about grumpy old men. You know, always whining and complaining, never satisfied, always complaining about something. Just complaining,
words
complaining.
of death.
Blah, blah, blah. Ever been around somebody like that? Just complain.
Just
Maybe you're that
critical.
person. It's just like,
Just rah-rah. Like everything that exits your mouth, you're like, dang.
yeah. Or
Why?
gossip.
Yeah.
Gossip. We can cover that up with, I'm worried about this person. But the truth is the matter.
No, you're
just,
not. You're trying to spread information. You ain't worried.
Demeaning remarks.
We do this to each other all the time. We call each other names and say critical, ugly things.
Yep.
Just criticism. That's way different than, hey, I want to speak to you and share something with you in love and truth and humility. Da da da. Not.
Just like calling somebody out.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Hateful responses. Somebody's trying to make amends or they don't even know that there's an issue and you're just like,
You got attitude behind it. Like, well, you did it.
and then let's talk about some other less obvious things of that. Feeling frustrated and angry when you see God blessing someone else more than you.
Dang. So you get mad and angry and jealous.
You may not be saying these words out loud, but let me say something.
If it's sit up in here and in your heart, it's still happening. You ain't fooling nobody.
Or feeling the need to tell somebody how it is. Let me tell you how it is. That's critical speech. It's like, instead of saying, Lord, help me to be able to reply to this person in a way that's honoring to you and to them, it's like, let me tell you how that is.
It takes me a while. I have to work hard to get to that point sometimes. When that person rises up and I'm like, I get
You do.
I get all ghetto for a minute and then I'm like, dang, that wouldn't be very good. I think that would just create more problems.
Yeah. So there's three things. Gossip to what not to do. Gossip to others about someone, what somebody did to you. Oh, we love to do that. Do you know what that person did to me? Let me just tell you what that person did.
For real.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness.
And listen, do not cover it up as, hey, I need to vent and I need to talk this out. You have like maybe one or two godly counsel people to do that
There you
with.
go. Mm-hmm.
Not just a complain session.
Yes.
That is very, very, very different.
Yeah, you don't want to start a Marco Polo with like 18 people in the conversation. Let me just tell you
Guess
what someone
what?
did to
That's
me.
not okay.
No. Or going only to the group that you know is
Will
gonna-
validate and okay your garbage. So tell us what we should do instead.
We need to love one another.
How do I do
If
that?
that's somebody, let's say you and I get into an argument over something, right? And hopefully we would be able to just come to one another. That's what the Word of God says. Go
Yes.
to one another in brotherly love to talk about these things,
you don't
right?
go to everybody else.
And if I need some counsel, I'll be going, okay, I want to kick her butt right now. And so I need you to help settle me down. And then be able to, okay, I love you enough to do what's honoring and good. I don't need to go behind your back and be talking smack about you and then get convicted by God. It's like, do you know what the damage you just did?
It's like a wildfire just spreading.
We need to love
Ruining acreage.
one another.
Yes.
We cop an attitude towards somebody because they didn't do something that we wanted, right? Or sometimes we just don't even know that they know. Oftentimes, we might say something and it's offended somebody, and that's one of the greatest ways that Satan likes to destroy the church. I'm offended. And instead of dealing with it the right way, we cop an attitude, and all of a sudden, division, division, division.
So what should we do?
And then we got to reason with people honestly. If someone is just like out of control, you got to wait till the situation gets a little bit better. Sometimes you got to pray, and then you have to go and like, okay, let's talk about this.
Yes.
Let's talk about this.
It's an actual dialogue that happens, not a monologue. You
Yeah.
don't get to be like,
That's
and take
good.
over the whole time. It is a dialogue. It is a give and take. That is what communication is. You share back and forth.
Okay, here's a great example that I know every single one of us does this, okay? When we're talking about critical speech and we're looking for, people looking for things to say, but this is just an attitude as well. So you have an issue with somebody, right? And you're not happy about it. So all of a sudden that person doesn't exist. You walk right past them. You don't
just
even
ignore
recognize
them. They're invisible. You
That's,
died to
that
me.
is so bad. And remember, we have to
Withholding.
recognize yes, that's withholding. That we're the family of Christ. Jesus died so that we could be brought together and love one another. And here we are ignoring one another. Remember, we are created in the image of God. So when we ignore one another, we're straight up ignoring God.
Yeah.
Because we're image bearers.
Talk
about busted.
Can I talk about that for a minute? Because I used to be big time at withholding and ignoring because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to resolve conflict if there was a conflict. I had no idea how to communicate. I had to call somebody up the other day to just be like, hey, if I'm off grid and I'm silent, that's because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I need help because I don't even know what to say right now. And I had to go seek counsel and have an authentic conversation with this person. But yeah, if I didn't know. I had no idea.
Shut down relationships forever because we just don't know
you
how to
just
go
block
about
off the street and try to make a detour and you're like, no.
Well, the thing is that in our lives, most of us have never been none of us have been taught how to deal with conflict. So we don't know what conflict resolution is. So we just kind of put walls
our
and
conflict
barriers.
resolution is bye-bye.
Or I'm going to kick your butt.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Those are
not
the
a
two
resolution.
things. Bye-bye, or I'm going to kick your butt. Right? What is that? That's not honoring to nobody.
It's
Amen.
not.
But have you ever experienced any of those things in your life? Have you done it or has it been done to you? And it's like, what was the fruit that came out of that kind of behavior? So the three things we've talked about is drugs and alcohol.
Yes.
Right? Disobedience and critical speech.
Fruits of rebellion.
These are
outcomes and results of rebellion.
So I pray that you would spend some time, maybe going back because we got a little crazy here, and listen to some of these things. And if God has pricked your heart about you're doing this, you may not realize it until just now. You may be fighting it, but you're in this right now. So let's deal with these things truthfully, honestly, authentically. Remember last week we prayed, Lord, search my heart. Mm-hmm. If you see anything that is dishonoring to you, please bring it to my awareness so that we can deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, are you dealing with drugs and alcohol? Are you dealing with disobedience? Are you dealing with critical speech, critical thinking? And if you are, now is the time to start seeking resolution with your God. Be healed of these things. These things keep us from being all that God has created us to be. He wants us to be joyful. He wants us to be filled with His love and His fruit. He wants us to be in a community that will accept us and help us through these things.
Yeah.
And if you're not a part of BFF's community, you can be through the Subscribe Tribe, but it's really important for you to be a part of a community that just accepts you for who you are and wants to help you to be better.
Amen.
You know, we have people in our lives who are always slamming us down, slamming us down, slamming us down. Then there's people who just don't like us for whatever that reason might be. You know, that happens to every single person. And we have to understand that's usually their problem, not ours.
Yeah.
That's their heart issue, not ours. But we need to make certain that it's not our heart issue. Amen? So we're glad that you joined us. I hope this speaks to you. If it's not something that you need right now, though I think it probably is, there's probably someone in your life who does need to hear this message. Please pay this forward and pass it on. If you can join us on a Friday night at our main location at First Christian Church on Friday nights at 5:30 when the doors open, we'd love to have you join us. We have childcare, so that's no reason why you can't. If you're a single parent, you need childcare.
Got that taken
We got
care
that
of.
taken care of. If you need some food, got that
Got
too.
it too.
Ain't no reason why. Oh, you might need a ride.
We got you there
too. So we provide all of that for you. I don't know. It's like no reason why you can't join us. But if you live out of state or out of country, and we still want you to join us, the way you can is by joining our Subscribe Tribe. Just go to our website, go to the bottom of that page. You're going to see Subscribe Tribe. Join us. You'll receive an email that outlines everything, and then you'll be invited into a private Facebook page where Sheridan is right now doing all of the teachings, which has been super excellent. And there's a wonderful community and dialogue happening within the Subscribe Tribe.
Definitely.
We love that you join us. Thanks for doing that. We hope to see you again soon, where we're going to talk about more
Rebellion.
Praise the Lord. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Bye.